My dearest brothers and sisters, it's my pleasure to be here. Thank you a lot for your invitation to be here with, I think, all that bright faces, all Muslim faces from my dearest brothers and sisters. Thank you all for this generous invitation. First of all, I have to introduce myself. I'm Essam el Refaie. I'm from Egypt. I'm a professor of strategic management in American University in Cairo, as well as I'm the professor of strategic management and organizational behavior in Victoria University in Switzerland. I have a PhD degree in clinical pharmacology. I am teaching in Cairo University for the postgraduate PhD students the course of clinical pharmacology for CNS, central nervous system diseases. So don't worry. If you have any consultation, concerning CNS, central nervous system. Okay? As you listen to my brother Teddy, that I have 4 kids, no longer kids. MashaAllah, my elder daughter now, she is ready to graduate from the Faculty of Language and Linguistics, and she's studying Spanish language. And the second son is Muhammad. He is in grade 4 in Faculty of Pharmacy. And then I have Salma, my daughter Salma. She has finished her IG, which is the British high school. And I have Ahmed, the younger one. He is 12 years old. And he's not interested in education. Just playing football. And unfortunately, till now, I have just one son. Just one, till now. I'm planning to have more, but it's mission impossible. Okay, let's have what we have today. Your brothers from the committee, they contact me to speak about how to achieve the leadership concept in our da'wah and what are the main roles of Muslims brothers here. When I think about that topic, it came to my knowledge that there is a concept. This concept has changed minds of many people all over the world. And it was what Dr. Stephen Covey wrote about. Oh, are you not nice? Yes, what's your name?
Say your name.
Your name is
Ma'ai.
MashaAllah, MashaAllah. You are from Syria?
Yeah, I'm from Syria.
Yes, is it right? MashaAllah. Welcome from our dearest brother from Syria. So, Dr. Stephen Covey, when he wrote the book of 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, and then this book followed by one separate book for the habit number 8, was trying to change the mindset of people all over the world. And I read this book many times. So I found that what Dr. Stephen Covey has established or teaching is true spirit of Islam. And I think I can debate now with him to say nothing new. You didn't make any addition. You didn't add something new to all the Muslims' concepts. Because all the leadership lessons or the aspect, all leadership aspects. He presented all these concepts are there in our Islam. But what did we do? As Muslims, we did escape. Escape how? How to escape? There is a trick called in our medical psychiatry, we call it psychogenic escaping. Pay attention to me, because this point is a crucial one. Allah Ta'ala gifted us some tricks to what? To can save our mind. So there is one, or the famous one, is what they call the psychogenic escaping methodology. It's a sort of defensive mechanism. For that one, he can preserve his mind. And the psychogenic defensive mechanism will take much more one methodology. Like what? Like the first one. This is the first one. Where is the scroll down? Okay. This one. This one is called as or classified as psychogenic escape. When you want to escape from all the duties, you have to go to PlayStation. To the playing station. I'm so busy. Guys, I have no time. I have no time for Muslims. I have no time for da'wah. I have no time for Islam. I will not attend the meeting. Why? I'm playing station. I'm busy. Really, I'm so busy. This is one of the psychogenic tricks we are used to. This is for what? To be defensive. The second one is to be like that. Most of the time, you are furious, you are tense, you... Thank you. Good head. Yeah, see? Look, that guy, most of the time tense, most of the time furious and nervous, and this is one of the escaping methodology. The other one is more negative. Just sitting alone and depressed, in a very depressed mood, and crying, weeping, blaming yourself, blaming all the surrounding conditions, blaming your friends, blaming others, and do nothing. You all have at this time point the old type of negative thinking. This is one trick. The other is to stand like that. You stand like that guy, clever, handicapped, cannot do anything, and say, oh guys, I'm a victim. Just a victim. I cannot change anything. I cannot change even my own life. What can I do? I have no chance at all to stand like that. This is another psychogenic escaping methodology. Or coming to the bad thoughts. These bad thoughts, and to be pessimistic rather than optimistic. When you are judging anything, you will be more pessimistic and trying to use all pessimistic expressions. Useless. No use. It doesn't work. No hopes. No any wishes. This is bad thoughts. And another one. To be like Japanese. Workaholic guy. Till what? Till death. Just working. Escaping by working. Escaping from achieving that balance. I have talked about in Jum'ah khutbah. I have talked about the balance. This is not balanced at all. Still working and still exhausting his mind, exhausting his soul till death. Another one. Eventually, you will change your fate or destiny to be like human being. But actually, this is just skeleton. This is skeleton. This is not human being. Yes, it's just skeleton. Oh, eventually, you are sitting mad. See? Look, you are here on the screen. Oh, this is mad. While he is crying. Yeah, look, this one, yeah. This is your photo. I got it from the internet. Okay. Eventually, you are sitting like this lovely man and just crying for the past history, for past days. Oh, I wish I could. Oh, hopefully to do blah, 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 blah. Then what can we do? How to face our fate and destiny? How to make your own life? This is the question. Are you going to surrender? Are you going to give up and sitting like that? I can't do anything. I can do nothing. How can I change? I need a mercy coming from the Allah just to change my life. You always sitting like depressed, like without any willingness. You are sitting and waiting for somebody else to change your life, to put you on the right track. I have very bad news. That mercy will not come. And whoever, this someone who will come to change your life will not come. God, yes. That's because of what? Because our change comes from here, from inside. You have to take the first step. You have to say to yourself, yes, today is a new day. Today I will change my life. I will make a good initiative right now. Now, not after 5 minutes. So, what is the first step? We have different roadmaps. But what is the most efficient one? The most efficient one, please write it down. It's a recipe for success. Number 1, trying to change your mindset. Trying to change your mindset. Which means trying to change your way of thinking. The methodology you are thinking up till now is not right, as it cannot bring you to success. It's not right. It needs an improvement. It needs a lot of development. So, first, I say I have to change my mindset. I will try another way for thinking more better. The second one is trying to unlock your untapped potential. Trying to unlock your untapped potential. Trying to unlock your untapped potential, and I will elaborate more what is the untapped potential do we have. Okay? Oh, this is the book. Change the world. the book of Dr. Stephen Covey. Over 15 million sold, 15 million copies sold from the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. The core issue behind that book and the separate book of the habit number 8 is look and read. It's powerful lessons in personal change. Powerful lessons in personal change. And we will read this testimonial quote, a wonderful book that could change your life. That could change your life? Yes. I refer to that could change your life. You will change your life. Not me. I cannot change your life. Everyone here, he is the only man who can change, develop, improve his life. Nobody. I'm here just to support. I'm here just to give a hand. I'm here just to give guidance. But eventually, you will make all the required action plan. Okay? This is the book which changed the world. Yeah. What are these 8 habits of highly effective people? And I can assure that it's really the habits of Islam. And I think Dr. Stephen Covey has extracted all these 8 habits from the leadership concept in Islam. So we'll see. I will mention all the 8 habits and we'll tackle one by one. And we'll elaborate more how one by one could be implemented in our daily life. Okay? The first one is all about being proactive. It's about how to take initiatives. It's being how to be a proactive person. Proactivity is much more different than reactivity. This is number 1. Number 2, it's all about how to focus on your goals. I've mentioned in Khutbah al-Jum'ah now that you have to refer yourself to a vision. This vision is, they call it a great goal. And have you asked yourself before, am I stick to my goal or not? What is the gap between achievement, between implementation and the goal itself? If I can ask myself how much is the gap, then I'm starting to be on the right track. I'm starting to diagnose the situation itself. So, number 1, to focus on goals, and he call it begin with the end in mind. Number 3, it's all about time management. He call it put first things first. It's all about how to set priorities in your life. How to set priorities. Not to be fully devoted to something just working, just playing, just entertaining. No. How to set all priorities. All your duties, you have to set it in, write it down on a paper and to set priorities. This is most important, this is less important, and okay. Number 4, it's all about negotiation and managing others and dealing with others. Have you achieved the win-win scenario before? When you are dealing and managing with others, you have to deal with the concept of win-win situation, or as they call win-win scenario. Win-win scenario, the only win when others win. Yeah, exactly. Number 5, are communicating, it's all about communication skills. He called it, they seek first to understand and then to be understood. It's all about excellent communication style you have. And the sixth one is cooperation and teamwork. And actually, I'm much more proud to listen to that magnificent presentation of my brother Nasruddin, because I know quite well that you are students, Muslim students in non-Muslim community, and this is a little bit hard or difficult to make all the activities which I had seen as a volunteer work. And this is perfect. Thank you. May Allah accept all your good deeds, inshallah. So, when you are cooperating like your presentation, you are synergizing each other. We achieve the concept of synergy. The concept of synergy simply is 1 + 1 equals not 2, equals 5, equals 7, because we will get benefits from all your efforts. So the summation is not a simple mathematical summation. Okay? And number 7, those who are highly effective or they have all the skills of leadership, they make what we call continuous improvement for themselves, continuous development, which is sharpen the saw. The saw, sharpen the saw when you see the knife and the sharp edge of the knife, this is the saw. So sharpen the saw, it's a symbolic meaning of developing yourself. It's all about what I have here in Japanese language. They call a concept, they do have a concept here called Kaizen. Kaizen means continuous improvement. And this is one of the total quality management concept. And also we can borrow, we can take that concept to be our slogan, is self-development for Muslim youth. And the last one is they have to find their voice and help others to find theirs. This is how to manage different characters, different personality styles. Okay, let us go to tackle one by one. This is the untapped potential. What's our untapped potential? Our untapped potential is really what we call it, the real life abilities you do have. The real life abilities you do have, yes, because we have in statistical analysis that genius people, they used just 10% out of their brain capacity. Just 10%? Yes, just 10%. Even if I'm a genius, I'm using just 10%, yes. Refer to the statistical analysis on the internet and write this question and you will get this horrible statistical result. All genius in the world, they used only 10% out of their potential, of their capacity. So, we have a lot of potential. The second point, we wrote it in the recipe. Number 1, to change our mindset, and number 2, trying to use the untapped potential. This is untapped potential, we need to trigger it, but it's not easy. Why? It needs what we call a triggering factor, stimulus. something will motivate you to come up with that untapped potential. I'll give you an example. An example, and it's a funny story. One of my friends, he was fat. In Egypt, we called it kalbuza. Very fat. And he was so lazy. And when we went in a vacation, he went with some brothers to swim in the sea. Swimming, and they went away and go, oh, dear brother, come. Yes, I will come. Please wait for me. I will come. And then getting to join his friends. And what had happened? He said, I could die. I'm so really tired. I cannot swim anymore. They said, no, we will come, get out, and we swim. He said, no, I cannot. And just a second, he saw something in the water. Something blue. He got afraid and got panic and he was the fastest one. Although he was kalbuza, he was the fastest one got out of the shore and running away. Just what had happened? His untapped potential was inside, but he needed what? Needed a triggering factor, a motive. And when he saw something in the water, I don't know what did he see? Like a monster, got afraid, and all the potential, all the abilities will get out and trying to be the faster one to make himself safe. Oh, this is actually what we are going to do. All of us needs a triggering factor, a motive for what? To discover the untapped potential you do have. All of us, we do have this untapped potential. I'll tell you another example. You are how you will do in Ramadan. In Ramadan and the other days, not Ramadan. In the other days, not Ramadan, you are praying 5 times. Yes, you are praying like that. and just 5 times this fruit. You don't pray sunnah. Do you read Quran in non-Ramadan days? Sometimes to read Quran, sometimes, most of the time not. But in Ramadan, how you are heavy. 5 times in the mosque, crying, and all sunnah, all rak'at sunnah, you will pray, and trying to finish all the Quran twice, or 3 times. This is, and you are maintaining Salat al-Qiyam, Tarawih, and Salat Tahajjud, even in the middle of the night, you are standing for 2 hours. I'm asking all of you, from what you got that energy? This is the untapped potential you have. Just need a triggering factor. A triggering factor was Ramadan, yes, because it's a challenge. It's a challenge to get all the rewards from Allah and stand to Allah, Allahumma taqabbal. This is great. This is the untapped potential. So, let us ask ourselves some questions. When the scholars, they asked them how you could judge or how you could assess the success of anybody, they classified the success into 2%. 85% from our own success depending on the interpersonal skills. And only 15 depending on technical skills. Could you imagine? Could you imagine that your technicalities only, your all technical skills only are not enough to make you a successful Muslim? Yes. This is out of what? Supposed to be a genius scientist. He has a clever technical skills, but he cannot communicate these technicalities. He cannot transfer this knowledge. He cannot make his Muslim society got benefited from his technicalities. He is not cooperative. He is a selfish man. He is not communicating. He is sitting alone. So, meaningless. All his technicalities are meaningless. So, I have to ask myself different questions concerning my success story. Everyone has to ask himself these questions. Number one, would you call yourself organized? How do you make priorities for the multiple tasks? What kind of time management tool do I have or do I use? The second questions. Many questions we have to ask ourselves. To increase your knowledge base, I have to ask myself 3 questions. What are you reading? And what are you networking with? And what are your resources? Another questions. Concerning our technical abilities, what training have you taken? And what training do you need? And what are your strengths and weaknesses? Yes. Another. Yes. How will you take direction to learn to give and take direction? And how will you lead? And who is your mentor? Mentor means in Arabic, al-nasih al-amin, who will give advices for the sake of Allah. He is your mentor. Or somebody, they called it qudwa, uswa, qudwa, a role model, role example. Okay? He called it mentor. So, we have to ask ourselves many different questions just to check on our self-development. And now I move to another question. How we can gain new habits? Our habits are out of what? The scholars, they established a theory that our habits is this zone, the intercepted zone, located among 3 circles in our personality. The circle number 1 is knowledge. We have all the 3 circles in our daily life. You have the circle of knowledge, the circle of skills, and the circle of willing or desires. The zone which is located, intercepted between all the 3 circles, you are making your habits. Number 1, I have to ask myself, do I have really the circle of knowledge and I'm developing that? Skills, do I know how? Skills is all about how. And willing to do. This is the 3rd circle. Sometimes you can find somebody. He has the knowledge, yes, and and he has the skills, but he is not willing, and he will miss the circle of willing to do. He is not willing to cooperate. He is not willing to work with this Muslim community society. He is not willing to give donations, to make musalla or to make iftar. He is not willing. But he has the knowledge, yes, and he has the skills, yes. So I have to give more attention for what? To evaluate my habits, my life habits. Are my life really the intercepted area between those three circles? I have to try. So, the other side of the coin, or the other side, how they will judge you. Right? I love you. How I can judge others, and how others can judge you. Others can judge you from that overlapped area between your character and your competencies. And as we said in khutbah al-Jum'ah khutbah, that Sayyidina Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was an excellent character. With all the good moral characters. And even more, he was having all the competencies. The competence. So, I have to put in a clear paper what is my character and the common characteristic features in your character, and the other side you have to put your competencies, including technical skills, qualifications, knowledge and experience. And I can predict and can anticipate how the others can judge me. This is the overlapped area between the character and the competences itself. So, when you increase your competences and when you taking care with your character, trying to follow Sayyidina Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and doing what he did sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, you are increasing the circle of character, and consequently the overlapped area will be expanded. And this is how I can expand the judgment area. Okay? Now, I will tackle, after I have tackled this point, concerning how we could achieve, how we could figure, we could get benefit from the untapped potential we do have, all the untapped potential we do have, how we can make that. وبعدين I'm شرير. معي, would you like to come? Would you like to come here? Come and give him the lecture. Okay? Come and give him the lecture. Okay? Inshallah. Please be quiet to continue. Okay? So now we talk. After we tackled that point of how to trigger our untapped potential and to ask ourselves how we can take the journey of continuous improvement, self-development, to get benefit from all the abilities we do have, then moving to all the leadership aspects in the Muslim community. Number one, be proactive. What's meant by be proactive? Being proactive is someone, yes, I make a comparison between those who are proactive and those who are reactive. Those who are proactive, they take the responsibility. And they even take the first step. And they take initiatives. And they didn't sitting down, waiting for our leader to give me the task. No. I'm raising my hand. Okay, dear brother Nasruddin, I will make blah, 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 blah. This is how to take an initiative. How to take initiative in our Muslim society. I do remember that who was taking the initiative to raise the idea of digging the ditch, which is Khandaq. في غزوة الخندق, yes, غزوة الأحزاب, in where Muslims, when the Muslims were sitting in Medina and they were afraid and the disbelievers are coming, when Rasulullah ﷺ made shura, majlis, and one idea came to the mind of Sayyidina Salman al-Farisi. Oh, one initiative, one good idea. So, this idea of digging the ditch of Hafr al-Khandaq was not the idea of Sayyidina Abu Bakr, was not the idea of Sayyidina Umar, was not the idea of Sayyidina Uthman or Sayyidina Ali, was the idea of another Muslim, one of the Muslims, called Sayyidina Salman. He took the initiative to propose that new idea. And this methodology, this technique for the war wasn't known with Arabs, how to dig a large well or ditch around the Medina. So, taking initiative, taking responsibility, and taking responsibility for their own life. Thus, they determine the agenda. I now make the comparison with those who are reactive. Those who are reactive, they sit in the passive, negative chairs, don't take any responsibility, and they feel victimized. I'm the victim. How can I do? I cannot do another. Just blaming himself. Just making sort of complaints. And to be proactive or to be reactive, your expressions will present your character. Look, we can notice those who are reactive and those who are proactive from their daily expressions. Those who are feeling victimized and reactive, they used to use I must, if only, they made me, if I had. He used to use this expression to elaborate or to explain that he is a submissive personality. But those who are proactive, their expression are I prefer, I will, I choose, I can be. Not only this, but they also create, who are proactive, they create different tools to trigger themselves out and seeking untapped potential. See that guy? He's writing on his shirt, ready, willing, and able. Oh, he is motivating himself. He is triggering his untapped potential. So when everybody reads what is written, this guy is ready, willing, and be able. It might be a good idea for this Muslim community to make shirts like that. Like to be ready, willing, and able. Yes. By the way, could you remember how Obama, how he won the elections? Yeah. He made a slogan, a change we believe in. And what was the answer of the audience? confirmed that Obama couldn't win the elections without the votes of youth. 1 million votes only from youth, from American youth. This is out of what? Out of his smart plan. He was playing this game with them, trying to get their untapped potential out of to make them ready, willing, and able. I think this is a simple tool, but it works. So try this. Okay? Okay. Also, how could I be proactive? Is it something I get up in the morning and found that I am, oh, it's a new day. الحمد لله الذي أحيانا بعد ما أماتنا وإليه النشور. I'm proactive today. Is it? No. It's something needs training. To be proactive, to take the initiative step, to take the first step, you have to upstairs with me this building. Let us upstairs this building. The first floor to train yourself how to be proactive is to say to yourself, I'm aware that I am responsible. I am aware that I am responsible. You have to say it, yes. To say it on daily basis, yes. I'm aware that I am responsible. Then ascend to the second floor. The second floor, you will say, I'm the creative force of my life. I no longer to be a victim. No. I am the creative way of my life. I will make my own life. This is the second floor. The third floor is to say to yourself, I choose my attitude, my emotions, and my moods. This is the stage of what we call in psychiatric medicine, the stage of self-control. Self-control here means that you can control your attitude, you can control your emotions and mood, and eventually you will reach the fourth floor, which is I can forgive and I can forget and let go of past justice and past bad habits. This is how. So it needs a sort of training, continuous training, matching with continuous development, continuous improvement. I will ascend floor by floor to make myself proactive, to have that gift from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And moving to that model, they called it the model of proactivity. Proactivity model, as I said, that you need always a stimulus. You need something triggering. You need a motive. And when you are triggering yourself by a stimulus, you will get the response from yourself. But to have the freedom to choose, you have to work on all the four dimensions. All these four dimensions. Dimension number one is self-awareness. And number two is imagination. Number three is ethics. And number four is your willing. Let us tackle it one by one. Number one, self-awareness. Have you asked yourself before, am I have self-awareness? If I know quite well, have you sitting before with yourself, alone, and making, please give me a piece of paper, any piece of paper, thank you, piece of paper like that, sitting alone, and make this, like this. and right here, this is S, and this is here, this is W. And trying to write what are my major strengths and what are my major weaknesses. One of the scholars called Beck, Dr. Beck, he was teaching his students to write it on daily basis. To get up in the morning, to identify what are your major strengths and what are your major weaknesses. Trying to look at yourself honestly. That's me. It's not anybody else. This is how to recognize self-awareness concept. If you tried it, I can say congratulations. You started to be self-aware. You have achieved the concept of self-awareness concept. And what else? What else I can do? That you will take all the strengths to invest on your strengths and trying to fix all your weaknesses, but please be gentle with yourself. Be soft. You cannot fix them all. You have to fix one by one. Okay? This is self-awareness. The second one is ethics, which are our principles or our internal sense of right and wrong, or what they call the moral nature. Without this dimension, I cannot implement the proactive model. You have to have, in all your good initiatives, you have to have code of ethics, ethics standard, because it's not acceptable by any means to have initiatives, good initiatives, in something haram. It's not logic. It will be a waste of time and waste of effort. So I say to myself, yes, I will be proactive, yes, but this is within a frame. A frame of what? A frame of ethics standards. The third one is power of imagination. The power of imagination, it's all about, in that imagination lie our faith and our hope for the future. Sometimes they call it the vision. As I said in khutbah today, and asked everyone, do you have a vision? Real life vision? Do you have a vision for Islam? Do you live this vision? Can you write it down in a paper and put in front of you to see this vision today, every day? This is the power of imagination. The power of imagination, something you can develop it, yes? You can develop it, yes. By broadening your vision, day after day, you can increase, you can expand your power of imagination. And the last one is the willing, or that willpower or independent will. It's all about untapped potential, our ability to activate. And am I really willing to be the distance on my mission statement? Am I willing to what we call walk the talk? Walk the talk is the title of one of the most important books in the business or management. Walk the talk means to do what you say, to implement what you say. So Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala blamed those in Surah As-Saff, يا أيها الذين آمنوا لما تقولون ما لا تفعلون كبر مقتا عند الله أن تقولوا ما لا تفعلون. Or those who are their behaviors are not matching with their talking. So this is what we call willpower. So now we have a clear identification for those who are proactive and those who are reactive. It's all about what we call the circle of influence. Look at this circle of influence. Everyone has two circles. The inner one is called the circle of influence, and the outer one is the circle of concern. Circle of influence. And what are leaders trying to do? They are trying to expand, to broaden, to widen their circle of influence. And all our Muslim leaders, we have to be like that. You have to broaden, to expand your circle of influence. Because if you expand your circle of influence more and more, you will have an impact over others. And you will achieve what you are planning for. Okay? This is moving to number 2. Number 1, it's all about proactivity and taking initiative. Number 2 is begin with the end in mind. Begin with the end in mind means, this vision. The vision, goals, the ultimate goals. So, they said that we have to articulate our vision. What's articulation? Leaders who can articulate their vision, they can what? They can talk about their vision as if they can talk about their vision as if they see it. So they live their visions. Have you asked yourself before, what do you want to become? It's a simple question, but it's very difficult to be answered. Really, what do you want to become? How to state and how to establish a great vision for you. And by the way, vision is not just dream. No. Vision is what we call, it's a grand goal you are working for, because it's mainly based on analysis. And those who have vision, and I will make the same comparison with those who they haven't vision. Those who they begin with the end in mind, use personal vision, correct principle, and their deep sense of personal meaning to achieve tasks in a positive and effective way. But the other side of the coin, and those people lacking personal vision, they are living and doing nothing, and just claiming and having developed a deep sense of personal meaning. And they have not paid the price to develop a mission statement, but thus live life based on society's value instead of what we call self-choosing values. So we have to make what? To unlock our creative potential to write a real-life mission statement. The third one, it's all about what we call time management. Leaders, when they analyzed the life of leaders, they found that those they do have perfect methodology to set priorities. And one of these methodologies, yes, is that matrix. Please write it down, this time management matrix, to refer to the internet and to get this matrix from the internet. To get this matrix is how to classify all your daily activities into 4 quadrants. The quadrant number 1 and the quadrant number 2 and the quadrant number 4. Quadrant number 1 is urgent and important. What really urgent and what really at the same time important. Looks like what? Looks like salah. Ibadat, as-salah. It's really important and it's really urgent. And the quadrant number 2 is called the quadrant of planning. Something important but not urgent right now. But you have to do it. So this is the preparation, the prevention, the planning aspect. Number 3, they call it the quadrant of number 3. This is the quadrant of interruptions. Because everything is located in quadrant 3. It's urgent but not important. Which, for example, some meetings, some phone calls. You are sitting studying and one of your brothers or friends, okay, oh my brother, are you studying? Let's play for it. He is interrupting your schedule. He is interrupting your daily agenda, your daily itinerary. And number 4, and this is a crisis, disaster. Because most of the time, when they are going to analyze their daily activities, they discovered that a lot of their daily activities is located here in the quadrant 4, which is not important, not urgent. What I'm going to do? I'm going to exclude that quadrant out of my life. The matrix will be just 3 quadrants. To rearrange my time, to manage my time, to distribute my schedule, to make my daily itinerary among all number 1, 2, and 3. And I have to remove number 4 out of my life because it's not urgent, not important. Like that. Like excessive TV. Like rambling in the internet. When somebody is going to search a piece of information, he looks, yes, click, yes, click, yes, click. Then he found out, please. He found out that he spent 5 hours seeking for a little piece of information. So go, take it and out of the internet. Because what you did is not urgent, not important. Just you have wasted your time. Wasting your time, wasting your effort, and wasting your money. This is very important tool to be used in time management, which is one of the main characteristic features for all Muslim leaders. Okay? Moving to number 4. Number 4, win-win situation. This is the habit number 4, or they call it win-win scenario. When I'm communicating, when I'm dealing, when I'm managing with the other part, I have to think win-win scenario. Not to think win-lose. I have to be much more interested that the other side will win. So, when I'm tackling the issue in my khutbah today, that what do we have to give that community, that non-Muslim community? I have to make my mind, do I have something to let them win and I will win? I want to make them Muslims. Okay, it's okay. You will win. You will win and you will get rewarded from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make anybody Muslim. But you have to think what the other part, what the other side will win. This is one of the model of thinking we have to look for. Okay, I'll show now a diagram. We'll elaborate more. This is what we called, this is the levels of communication. When you are communicating and dealing with anybody, you are dealing from three zones, from 3 points. The higher point, they call it the synergistic point. This is where win-win point is located. This is strong. Can I? Yeah. When I am communicating with anybody from this point, look, this is high cooperation, high trust. I'm communicating from the point of high heart. So, my communication style will be win-win because each of us trusting each other and ready to cooperate. So this is the optimum scenario of dealing with others. What is the minimum, optimum one? What is my plan B? What is the alternative scenario? The alternative scenario is to deal from that point, which you have a middle cooperation and a middle trust. And this point is called, they call it the respectful or the compromised scenario. Compromised scenario means you will compromise and the other side will compromise, and reaching a compromise solution make us satisfied. Each other will be satisfied. But please, don't go for that point. That point is what we call the defensive point, which is win-lose or lose-win. At that point, we do have, when dealing with each other, minimal cooperation and minimal trust. And this will end up with, eventually, with furqa. And this will end up with real conflict between each other rather than real cooperation. And this will make a disconnection between people or between Muslims when they are managing each other from the point of defensive. The main interest for me is to win, and you will lose. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter for me. No. But I have to consider, you have to win, and for me also to win. This is win-win. Or at least, we will make a compromise solution just to reach the respectful compromise point. And number 5. Number 5 is seek to first to understand and then to be understood. It's all about how do we listen to others. Are we trying to understand others? Are we trying to listen? Most of us are listening like that. Yes, we are listening. But how we are listening? Like that. You are on the chair of speaker, and your brother on the chair of listener. See, what did you do? You put him an adhesive tape on his mouth. Shut up! I'm talking. Trying to elaborate his point with shut up! You have to listen. This is not the model of listening. This is really, I think this is one-way communication. And most of Muslim countries they have a professional way to implement that one way of communication. Never listen. Never listen to their people. Most of it. Never listen to new points of view. Never listen to new suggestions, new proposals. Never listen. Talking and listening is the two-way of communication, achieving what Dr. Stephen Covey said. First, you have to care about your understanding and then to be understood. Yes? So, I make the same comparison. The same comparison which they do have what we call empathic listening. What's empathic listening? Empathic listening is what we call in Arabic language al-insat al-muta'ayish. How to live the same circumstances of the other one. How to live with him while you are listening. You are not hearing just wording, no. You live the meaning. So, Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala said, يا أيها الذين آمنوا إذا قرئ القرآن وإذا قرئ القرآن at the end of Surah Al-A'raf, there is no يا أيها الذين آمنوا وإذا قرئ القرآن فاستمعوا له وأنصتوا لعلكم ترحمون. First, to hear. And the second, to listen. Was فاستمعوا له وأنصتوا. Well, that's what. Why? Because listening is something else. And empathic listening is the highest level of listening. To feel what the other feels. So I do remember that story of Sayyidina Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam when he was walking and met an old, very old woman. Then Sahaba said, we got back and this old woman, she took the ear of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and started to speak. The companions are here. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is there with the old lady. And Rawi al-Hadith, Sayyidina Abu Huraira, he said, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was smiling. And she speaks while he is smiling. And he was showing interest. And then she let him go. And when companion asked Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said sallallahu alaihi wasallam, she was one of the closest friends to Khadija sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he was considering that woman. She was visiting his home while Ummahat al-Mu'min Sayyidah Khadija was alive. And so, until now, we don't know what she was saying to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But his facial language and his body language was talking about that he was sallallahu alaihi wasallam a perfect implementing the perfect empathic listening to live the meaning. When she loved, he loves sallallahu alaihi wasallam. When she making like that, he will make like that sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Because when you are listening to somebody, to anybody, and implementing the way of empathic listening, you are listening to three things. Please, can you write it down? Number one, you are feeling his emotions. Number two, you are reading his thoughts. Number three, you are anticipating his intentions, feelings, thoughts, and intentions. Just when you be empathic and when you implement, and most of the leaders, they do have this property. They can listen empathically, and they can listen in a very empathic way to read the thoughts of others, to predict their intentions, and to feel what they feel. And this is one of the most common characteristic features of leaders. Number 6, synergize. It's all about team spirit, teamwork, and we want to become like that. Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala made surah in Quran Kareem called Surah An-Naml. في الجزء من جزء 19 جزء Surah An-Naml, ants. And we do have another surah called Surah An-Nahl, peace, in the juz 14. Why? Why Naml, ants, and peace? Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala wants us to make our minds and to investigate and how to learn from that society. When we are going to study the society of ants or the society of bees, you will find a common main characteristic features. The first one is teamwork, team spirit. Everyone has a clear mission, and he's doing his mission at the best. And you said to me, and all my friends here in Japan, they said to me that one of the common factors in anywhere you go in Japan, that they do have the team spirit. They do have the teamwork. Anyone cannot live alone, cannot work alone. They are working like chain structure or tree structure. This is a common. So we have to synergize each other. Synergizing each other, yes, is people know that the whole is greater than the sum of the parts, and they value and get benefits from differences. We have to get value and benefits from all other differences. This is out of what? Out of respecting our individual variations. Everyone has a talent, and your talent alone is not enough. But when you are bringing your talent to the group talent, we will synergize each other. At that time, 1 plus 1 may equal 5 or 7, because all our talents, we put it on the floor and trying to make something great. And that what was Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam doing in Shura. In Shura, in our Islam, which nowadays in the recent terminology, they called it in the textbook brainstorming sessions. Brainstorming sessions, it is Shura, really Shura, where Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam was sitting with the Sahaba, and everyone trying to exhausting his mind to come up with a brilliant idea, with the new idea, with his point of view. Rasulullah was making shura in everything, like what's starting, like in Badr, what they will do when the train was escaping and they have to went back to Medina. So Rasulullah sitting with Sahaba, what can we do? This is shura, this is brainstorm. Respecting all the individual variations. All the ideas, yes, all the ideas. Sorry. Respecting all the individual variations and ideas. This is the other alternative scenario is from synergize, when I am choosing that I will not synergize with others. I don't believe in team spirit or teamwork. I'll go for compromising, fight and flight. Ooh, just escaping or fighting, the gap will increase. So it was the sixth one. The seventh one is how to achieve the self-development concept, the continuous improvement, the continuous improvement and development, which is under the title of sharpen the soup. Sharpen the soup is something you have to make in a balanced scenario. Please pay attention to that slide. This is one of the most important slides. When you are making a self-development plan for yourself, you have to consider these 4 dimensions to go for the balanced scenario. You have to develop yourself physically, and you have to develop yourself mentally, and spiritually, and eventually socially. This is out of what? I think all of us remember hadith Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, إن لنفسك عليك حقا وإن لبدنك عليك حقا وإن لأهلك عليك حقا وإن لزوجك عليك حقا وإن لزورك عليك حقا فأعطي كل ذي حق حقه. The name of the game is how to balance among all duties that you have. In that hadith, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he ensured that all of many aspects have the rights. Your family has the rights, and your visitors have the rights, and your body even have all the rights. You have duties, you have to make it. So I have to balance between all my physical duties, self-development concerning exercise, nutrition, and stress management, and mentally reading, visualizing, planning, and writing, spiritually to value clarification, commitment, meditation, praying, and socially this is service, empathy, synergy, intrinsic security, and something like that. So those who will deviate out of that circle and they will focus just only on one side or one dimension will come up with a deviated personality. Eventually, they will have what we call in psychiatry distortion in his personality. Distorted personality. نوع من التشوه, type of damage in that personality. Oh, how can, this is what we call the spiral model. How I can sharpen the soup, how I can develop myself, how I can achieve the concept of self-development and continuous improvement. You have to start from the bottom. From the bottom, you have to start. Learn, commit, do. Learn, commit, do. Learn, commit, do. Learn, commit, do. You will go for that spiral model. This is what we call the upward spiral model for self-motivation. Okay? Mike is trying to do the best. So, I have to say to myself, learn, commit, learn, do, commit, do. Learn, commit, do. Learn, commit, do. Learn. First, you have to learn something. You have to learn anything. And you will be committed to implement that thing. And to be highly committed to do it. And try, do. and learn another thing and do. This is a spiral model of how to improve ourselves and eventually, we do have that mountain. So they talked about that we do have a mountain. We have to ascend that mountain with the spiral model. It's not the mountain that we master, but we have to master ourselves. This is the mountain, you have to master it with the spiral model. The last one is the habit number 8 for very successful Muslim leaders. Finding your voice and helping others find theirs. This is how to keep yourself as much as you can with the perfect adaptation, how to adapt to different characters, different social styles. Trying to find their voice means trying to recognize what are their motives, what are their personality styles, and then you will adjusting yourself, adjusting your way of communication, as Rasulullah said, خاطب الناس على قدر عقولهم. You have to speak guided by what? By the level of the audience. If you are speaking with a skeptical man, some guys will be skeptical, suspicious. You have to give him more than one assurance. So you are adapting your personality style with his personality styles. When you are talking to a brave man, achiever man, you have to show him achievements. You have to show him enthusiasm. This is how to adapt your personality style. This is the this is the habit number 8. Eventually, I thank you a lot for this marvelous attention. Although we are after lunch, and this is a great challenge to keep you awake for almost 2 hours. And although we do have our precious Ma'id, mashallah, ربنا يحفظه. So I thank all of you for your great attention. Thank you, Jazakumullah khairan, and now the floor is open for questions or comments. Okay, thank you.
Now, everybody, we open for discussion. Anyone want to ask a question or want to say something, please raise your hand.
Any questions? Any comments? They were asleep. Yes, please.
My name is Ginanja from Indonesia.
MashaAllah.
I have questions. You said that humans usually use 10% of their potential.
Yes.
And they need to find the triggering factors to untap their potential.
Yeah.
How we can easily find our triggering factors?
Yeah. Jazakallah khairan. It's very important questions. The statistics which I have mentioned, it was a worldwide statistics that all the genius men, they used only 10% from their untapped potential out of their brains. So we need a triggering factor. Triggering factor here are defined as what are the motives I should seek to trigger the untapped potential. I think that the first triggering factor in our Muslim society is a niyya. Intention, our intention. If I'm saying to myself, I have to exhaust and to discover our untapped potential. This is number one, for the sake of Allah. I think this is one of the biggest triggering factors in our life. The second one, if I'm going to work and to study and to be a brilliant engineer or a brilliant, I do have master or PhD, a brilliant scientist in engineering, in physics, in metallurgy, everything, for the sake of what? Number one, for the sake of Allah. And number two, to serve all Muslim community. I think this is the second triggering factor. As Sayyidina Rasulullah said, مَا لَمْ يَحْتَمْ بِأَمْرِ الْمُسْلِمِينَ فَلَيْسَ مِنْهُمْ. Those who are not interested in feel what all Muslims feel is not really a Muslim. So, when you are working in a research and you have a point, real life point, and you know quite well that this point will improve the quality of life for Muslim society, I think I do. It's better to refer to the example of Sayyidina Uthman ibn Affan when he bought the wheel, when he bought the wheel from the Jews guy to let the Muslims drink. Have you remember this story? There was a wheel. The Muslim was drinking from that wheel. They come for the water to drink. And one of the Jews of Medina, he bought the wheel. And trying to make all Muslims paying like taxes. Okay, from now, from today, if any Muslim wants to drink, he has to pay juice. So, Sayyidina Uthman ibn Affan took the initiative, and we said, the initiative is to make what we call a partnership with that Jews, to buy half of that way. So he gave him a lot of money to buy half and said to him, for me now, I'm having half of that way. You have 3 days a week and I have the other 3 days. And for his 3 days, he made the water free for Muslims. This is free. Any Muslim, he wants water, okay, come and bring your water and make a reserve in your house. So the other 3 days, the Jews sitting and nobody come. What Sayyidina Uthman did? Sayyidina Uthman ibn Affan, he was improving the quality of life of his Muslim community. And now it's your role, it's all our role. If you have any scientific aspects, and inshallah, all of us will be scientists. If you have, and this aspect can improve the quality of life for Muslim community, please don't hesitate, go. I think that one of the most triggering factors which make me working in my lab, working all day and night, just to improve the quality of life. I think these two triggering factors, if we make what we call ikhlas, sincerity, between us and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I think they are more than enough. Jazakallah khair. Another question? Another comment? Yes, please.
My name is I have two questions. First is regarding 8 habits, 5 hours and 5 hours, 5 days.
Yeah.
And this is a consecutive process. I mean, you have to 5 hours at first and then have the other after that.
Yeah.
And the second is regarding the third habit, set the priorities.
Set priorities, yes.
Sometimes is it easy to write down like 4 quadrants,
Yeah.
but it's very hard to commit into
I will start by the second question. The second question, it's all about, as I said, time management. They developed the time management matrix to classify all our duties among all 4 problems. At the beginning, it will be a little bit hard, a little bit difficult. For any habit, you want to acquire that habit. At first, do you remember when you fast Ramadan for the first time? It was a little bit hard. It was very difficult. But now, you are fasting. No. Why? I will refer you to the spiral model. Spiral model, starting with learn, commit, do. Learn, we have learned the 4 quadrants. I will take a piece of paper and try to write all my daily itinerary. Commit. You have to commit yourself that you will talk the walk. You will do what you are saying to yourself. It's not logic and it's not acceptable that I am learning something and cannot commit myself to do it. Have you ever commit your professor to do a task? Yes, sure. When you commit your professor, you were obligated to do the task. So you have to commit you. And then do it, try it. By experiment, they found out that it became a habit with those people who has the privilege of what we call time management. Sometimes, many people, they cannot live without this matrix, and they cannot live even without to-do list. To-do list or this matrix, it's a tool how to improve your best time and utilization of that time. So I have no alternative. The alternative is to live my time, and to let my time goes and to be wasted and I do nothing. But the 4 quadrant is one methodology to analyze. Do I make something in the quadrant number 4 which is not urgent, not important? You will find that you do more than one task, not urgent, not important. So I have to refer to myself asking, why should I do what is not urgent, not important? Why should I do it tomorrow and next week? So, plus another advice. Everyone should have, should have 4 plans. Please, can you write it down? You should have daily plan. Number 1, daily plan. Number 2, weekly plan. Number 3, monthly plan. And number 4, annual plan. We have to have 4 plans, 4 time schedule to schedule our life. Number 1, daily plan. This is your time itinerary. This is the daily schedule we do have. And the second one is weekly schedule. What I'm going to do next Friday, next Wednesday, next Thursday. I do have a meeting with my society, so I go. I have a monthly plan. Oh, this month we are in May. At the last Thursday in May, we have iftar. So we have to prepare who will take care with iftar and who will take the responsibility. This is the monthly plan. And eventually you have to have annual plan. Because there is some tasks will be annual tasks. Yeah, if you are going to Umrah and to visit Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it needs planning from the first of the year, from the beginning of the year, to do Umrah in Ramadan. So if you don't have annual schedule, you will not go for Umrah in Ramadan. But if I know quite well that from the beginning, from Jan, I will go that Ramadan to visit Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So you will make your plan and your. This is the second question. The first question is trying to find your character first. Yes, I do agree with you. I totally agree with you 100%. It's a sequential manner. Yes. You have to know yourself first. And I talked about self-awareness. When we are tackling the paper of self-awareness, if you have discovered yourself and standing on the front, in the front of the mirror and say to yourself, yes, these are my strengths and these are my weaknesses. You are achieving the concept of self-awareness. From that self-awareness, I can confirm that you can move to know others. But first, you have to know yourself. And my advice is trying to read about what we call personality styles. Can you write it, please? Try personality styles and how to manage different personality styles. You will find on the internet more than one model. There is a model called Thomas. There is another model called the Herman model. There is a third model, another model called the 6 hats. This is how to cope, how to see the different points of view, adapting and trying to matching yourself with the others. Jazakallah khair. Any comment? Another question? Thank you all. Jazakallah khairan. Thank you. Really thank you. I think although we are after lunch, but you have succeeded to get the best out of me. Thank you all and see you inshallah. Jazakallah khairan.